Welcome back to Happily in the Middle. Thanks for joining me here today. It's been a really long time, probably I think 2 months now since I've uploaded a video. One thing I've learned in the last 2 months is that being a mom of two little people is really hard and really time consuming. We're still not sleeping through the night, although I will tell you in the last 3 nights that our baby, who's about 6 months old now, is starting to sleep longer stretches at night. Does that affect me? Not really, because I'm probably up till 10 or 11 now every night. And though the baby might be sleeping 5 or 6 hours, I still only get like 3 hours of sleep because he wakes up around 1 or something. I need to work on that. But anyways, today I want to share with you about some of my favorite teacher ed tech. This is something I've been thinking about for a really long time. I am not like an ed tech guru. I went to a teacher ed tech academy a few summers ago. My district paid for me to go. It was like a week in the summer and then a couple days here or there during the school year. And I knew the basics of like what Google Classroom was and that ed tech existed. I had kind of been using Classdojo in my classroom, but I didn't really know a whole lot about ed tech and this whole ed tech world and how to connect other teachers. I just was really unfamiliar with it. And so I went to this ed tech academy, and it's actually what led me to being brave enough to create my own YouTube channel. So, anyways, all that to say is I'd really just love to share with you some of my favorite things I've learned about ed tech in the classroom and some of my favorite programs. Before I share with you about the teacher ed tech, I do want to share a really big announcement with you. Now, this came as like a really huge surprise to us, and it was not something I was actively pursuing, but I have signed a contract to teach ninth grade English at the same high school where my husband teaches 10th and 11th grade history. I'm really excited to be back in high school to be teaching ninth grade. I do feel like ninth graders are just middle schoolers in bigger bodies because they still need a lot of structure and support. But it is a whole different beast, and I'm very excited to be teaching ninth grade. I'm a lot of it sad actually to be leaving the middle school where I was teaching. I loved the staff, I loved all of the people there. But I just wasn't super happy. There's a lot of transition going on in that district, and I wish them the best. But I was just kind of ready in my heart to move on to a new school. And I've kind of learned after 7 years of teaching that it's not worth it to stay somewhere where you're not really happy. So, with that said, the surprise happened on the second to the last day of school. I was called and asked to interview for a position right after school. And when I got the phone call, I told the vice principal, look, I'm wearing a t-shirt that says every teacher is a superhero and tennis shoes because it's the second to the last day of school. We're doing like activities and playing outside. like I'm not interview ready. And he said, just come over anyways. And so I did it and I interviewed. And then I didn't hear back from them until the week after school got out and they offered me the position. So I accepted. I'm really sad. I know that some of my sixth graders have found my channel. So if you're watching, just know I am so sorry. I love you guys and I'm really sorry that I'm not going to be able to see you, but you know what? My family still lives in town, so I will see you guys out and about and at the community events because we still love to go to those. So I will still see you guys. I'll probably still see you in the summer at the pool because we do like to go to the pool. Anyways, back to the teacher ed tech. I've been thinking a lot lately about what my favorite ed tech in the classroom is. I think it's that summer teacher reflectiveness that we get when we've had a break from the classroom. You start to reflect back on things you feel like worked and didn't work, or maybe you want to focus more on. So, one of the things I've been really just reflecting on is education and technology and how I use it in the classroom. And really, what kind of information is this ed tech giving me? And is it useful? Is it worth my time and effort? So I thought I would just share with you kind of the thoughts I've had lately, and I'm just going to share about 5 programs. I'm not going to go into super detail about it because I don't want this to be a really long video. I'm happy to do more detailed videos about each of these programs, but I feel like I could talk about them like all day. So I'm just going to give you a little bit today and hopefully that gets you started. So before I share with you about those 5 programs, I do want to give you my best tip about education technology, or really, I think this is a really good tip about teaching in general. So every school year, I pick one program or one skill that I really want to focus on improving that whole next school year. Obviously, I'm going to teach reading and writing, listening, speaking, all of those things, but I pick one area where I really want to focus my professional growth and my development on. And so that's my biggest tip for you. There is so much ed tech in this world for teachers that it is all consuming and overwhelming. Do not think that you have to do all of them at once because you don't. Just pick one program and learn about that program and use the year to grow, ask questions, seek out people who are experts or who use that program a lot, and see how you can apply it in your classroom. And don't be afraid to take a risk. Now, I want to share with you a story about the first time I ever heard about Google Classroom. So I had moved to the new middle school where I just resigned 3 years ago, and I never heard of Google Classroom. I don't know, where had I been? Who knows? This was kind of before it was becoming really popular to have one-to-one computers in our area. Most schools now are one-to-one for computers. So in the classroom one day, I was, I don't know, teaching, talking to the 7th grade students I had that year, and one of them said, "Hey, Mrs. Kyle, why don't you have Google Classroom?" And I said, "I don't know what Google Classroom is. What is that?" And they told me it's like this platform or this website that one of their other teachers uses, and they post assignments. They can turn assignments in there electronically. And I just kind of looked at them and said, "Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know how to use it, so I'm not going to do it." And he said, "Wait, I can show you. It's super easy." And these are 7th graders, and I was teaching at the time, and I just thought, you know what? Why not give it a try? So I said, "Okay, come show me how to do it." And the whole class was involved in this. They were all talking about the cool things about this program, how it works, and they were giving me their student view of Google Classroom. And while that was happening, I had a student on my computer and he was logged into my Google, and he went to classroom.google.com and he created a section. He named the section. He even picked the little banner picture and everything. And they showed me right there in class how to do Google Classroom. He even posted my first assignment for me. I'm telling you guys, I really didn't know how to use Google Classroom. And so I learned this program from my students. And so that school year, Google Classroom became my focus. I was just learning how to post an assignment, how to collect an assignment. I didn't even know all the cool things that Google Classroom could do yet, but I was able to do the basic of post an assignment and students could turn it in onto Google Classroom. And it was a really cool experience, and my students were really supportive of me because they knew I didn't know. And for them, it was a really good learning opportunity to see me go through and model this learning process of sometimes we fail, sometimes it doesn't work, but we just, you just try again. You have someone show you how to do it and you try again, and it's not a big deal. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. So it was a really great learning opportunity. Without further ado, I'm going to share with you my 5 favorite ed tech programs. Now, I'll be honest, these are always changing, and if you share one down in the comments, I might look at it and be like, yeah, you're right. That's probably one of my top 5, and bump something out of my list. But these are the first things that came to my mind, so I wanted to share these with you. So the first one I want to share with you is obviously Google Classroom. I think Google Classroom is such a helpful tool. You can do different sections of your classes. So if you teach 5 different sections of 9th grade English, which is what I'll be doing next year, you can create 5 different sections in your Google Classroom, space, platform, whatever that's called. Anyways, you can create 5 sections, and the kids each get a code to sign up into that one online platform. And then what you can do is you can post announcements, you can post assignments, you can post discussion questions, and students will interact with it. So if you do a discussion, then students can talk back and forth. You can turn comments on or off for students to be able to discuss with each other, make sure you tell them that you can see the comments. Sometimes they think that you don't see the comments, and then they do, I don't know, they say really dumb things, let's be honest. I taught 6th grade, so they thought that they were getting away with stuff like that. You can also post assignments, and what I like about this is when students attach their Google Slides or their Google Documents, even before they've clicked the turn-in button, I can actually click on it and it gives me access to their assignment while it's in progress. I did a discussion once where I posted a question and students were responding. And so what I did was I went into their response and then I clicked comment, like a private comment, and then I was giving them immediate feedback on their writing because they would say, "I'm done, Mrs. Kyle." And I would say, "Okay." And I'd read their assignment and I would give like a 1 sentence feedback and say, "Check it again, you're not done." And so we were doing this like live feedback kind of experience for their writing. So there's lots of cool things you can do with Google Classroom. A really good person to check out because she's like the guru of Google Classroom and stuff is Alice Keeler. I'll link her website down below. The second program I want to share about is one of my favorites. I'm actually certified in this program, and this one is Flipgrid. So Flipgrid is an online video discussion platform that you can use to post questions or questions, and then students do video discussion. And so what's really cool about this is that this is a great opportunity for your students who maybe aren't super strong in writing to orally demonstrate their content knowledge or their skills and abilities. So for instance, I in 6th grade and 7th grade was teaching how to cite textual evidence, and we were doing this really hard over and over and over in writing, and then I really wanted to see if some of my students could give me details from the text. That's just, I wanted to know, and some students just were not turning their work in. And so I put in a Flipgrid question to our platform and posed it out to the class. And then I was able to get an oral response where these students were actually citing evidence, and they loved it. And you have the power to turn commenting off or on between the students. So what you could actually do is have students watch other students comment or video discussion, and then they can video back. And what I really love about Flipgrid is that students, once they create their video, they have to listen to and watch it, so it gives them that instant reflection on their work. So they might see that, oh, I didn't do the assignment well, or I wasn't speaking clearly, I need to refilm it. But once they post it, they cannot delete it. So I had this happen one time. That's all it took. Someone said something mean, and I was able to find it because they're not allowed to delete it. And then I was able to, first of all, delete it after I saw it, and then give the consequence for that. You can also download the videos. So if you have a really great response from a student, you can download that video and save it. There's a lot of cool things you can do with it. I also did book chats on there where students could go into our book chat platform in the program, and they could film themselves sharing their ideas, what they thought about a book, their response to the book, and then other students could go and get a book review and see if they were interested in reading that book, and then they could give comments back. So if maybe 2 students had read the same book, they could chat about the books that they liked. And the last thing I love about Flipgrid is that I've been able to participate in quite a bit of professional development. There's a couple of quite a few teacher groups actually in Flipgrid where you can just jump in the discussion and you can hear other teachers' responses and then respond to them and kind of engage in this discussion all around the world, an international collaboration. It's a really cool program. My third EdTech program I really love right now is called Flocabulary. Now this is a paid program, and it is, I think it's $99 or $95 a year. It's, somewhere around $100 a year. Last year I did a donors choose, and I had a company, some tech company out of New York, just fund my whole Flocabulary project, which was super rad because Flocabulary is amazing. It's a hip hop music program where these people make music videos. It's all hip hop style music, and it basically is there to teach students vocabulary and reading comprehension skills, writing skills, all kinds of skills. History, there's science, there's math, there's all different content areas on this platform. and the students love it. So they don't just make a video. The videos are really fun, amazing, and catchy, but they also create some curriculum that goes along with it. So you show the video in class, you can print out the lyrics to go along with it. They can be fill in the blank lyrics to challenge your students to really focus and pay attention. You have some other assignments where maybe they're doing reading and then responding. They're applying those vocabulary terms, they're practicing those words, and then there's an assessment at the end. The fourth program I'm really into right now is called Plickers. Now, Plickers is such a cool app. So basically what Plickers is it's a data collection app. So every student has a little card, and I wish I had them home with me, but they're in my classroom, which I still need to pack. Anyways, so they get these little cards and they have these like funky little shapes on them, and each student has a different shape, so no one is going to know what your answer is when you respond. And at the top of these little cards, at the top of each of the sides, there are letters A, B, C, and D. And so basically what happens is through the app, I project onto the screen a question, and I have multiple choice questions that students choose between, and then students take their little card and they turn it. So if they think the answer is A, they are going to turn their card so A is on the top, or if they think it's C, they're going to turn it to C being on the top. And they have their little shape and they show it to me. And then I take my phone, which I've used to project the question, and I scan. So I start on the side of the room and I just go across the room like this, and I scan all of those pictures in, and each of those little pictures is associated with a student's name. And so instant data collection from the students. I can see what they got really quickly, what they don't get. I've even used it as sort of a formative data assessment, like working as I was going to give instant feedback when we were learning about similes and metaphors, where by the end of this 10-question quiz, I had students getting the question correct 100% of the time. And that's because we were able to stop when I was getting about 50-60%, stop, review simile, review metaphor, do a new question, stop, review simile, review metaphor, do another question. So by the end, students were seeing those terms like, or, as, and then in the questions, where they were able to do the basic identification of a simile and a metaphor. Now remember, these were sixth graders, so we weren't doing super high level similes and metaphors. We were just being introduced to them for the first time. So Plickers, I love it. You get data collection in like 30 seconds. Once your kids have a lot of practice, which is super easy, just like try it. It's not a big deal. But you're gonna love the data that you get back from it, because you can use it tomorrow or the next day in your class, or you can take it to your PLC meeting and share your findings. Now my fifth program that I want to share is Classdojo. I know I'm going into high school, so I'm not likely going to use it. I am considering Classcraft. So if you know anything about Classcraft, please share about that in the comments down below. But I love Classdojo for sixth grade. It's a really wonderful program that goes hand in hand with PBIS, and which is Positive Behavior Intervention something services system supports. I'm not sure. Anyways, so it goes really well with PBIS. So essentially what Classdojo is it's a program where you can manage student behavior, and each student gets a little monster avatar assigned to them, and you can track their positive or negative, if you choose, behaviors throughout the day in the classroom. So when students participate, when they have a great answer, when they help others, you can give them like 1 to 5 points. You get to design it and set it up as a teacher. I personally don't actually choose to use the negative in the program, just because I give consequences in a different way. And I mean, there's a whole long story about that. I could do like a whole video on Classdojo for you if you are interested in that. But I don't use the negative in Classdojo. I just use it to track that positive behavior. I have a system where students would cash out their points and they would go to a Classdojo store, and it was mostly free items like no shoes on in the class, wear your hat in the class, or 5 minutes on the Chromebook to play a game. Like it was like sit by your friend, those kind of things that are really free. And then I bought like a box of prizes from Oriental Trading that they would, get stuff out of, like cutesy little things like erasers and pencils. And so they use it for that. Now, my favorite part of Classdojo and why I really run the program is there's a parent instant messaging feature on it. So I could instant message with the parents. Now, you do need to check in with your school site and see and make sure that you are allowed to use it because I know because I'm a mentor for Classdojo, and I'm in the mentor group in Facebook where we talk about things. There's a lot of people whose schools are moving away from Classdojo or who are just not using it. Now, Classdojo does adhere to all those like privacy policies and laws, and so there's all kinds of literature about that in the Classdojo website. But just do a double check and make sure that your school allows you to use it. But it's a fabulous program. There's even a feed, like a class feed, where you can post pictures of what you guys are learning. I used to do pictures of the anchor charts at the end of the day so parents saw what we did in class. I would show them pictures of the books we're reading. I would put pictures of the kids up there, though I personally always have them cover their face just for privacy issues. I never would take a picture of a student and post it online. That's just a personal thing. So Classdojo is also a super cool program I think you would really like. Well, there you have it. My top 5 favorite at the moment in this second EdTech programs. I love tech in the classroom, and I love learning about new programs. I love trying new things. And I went to a Q conference last year where I just got introduced to all kinds of EdTech. I just love it. It makes me so excited. I'm not like super great at it. I'm not going to say I'm like a tech guru, but I am excited about EdTech. So if you have any questions, please pop them down in the comments down below. I'd love to answer them. If you have any suggestions for me, please share those also down in the comments below because I just want to get better at EdTech. Also, if you're wondering why I've been gone so long, it's because I've been spending a lot of time on Instagram and just building my teacher network on Instagram. I was trying to think of the word for it. It's not my PLC, professional learning network, my PLN. Been building that on Instagram. So if you are on Instagram, please follow me. I'll put that link in the comments. Nope, not in the comments. In the description box. You know what I mean. Anyways, I hope you have a great day and thanks for watching.